Hey everybody, please help yourself to breakfast, anonymously sponsored. And Rishus Harav, just an interesting thought that I saw. The Torah states that Yaakov was afraid and distressed when he's about to confront his brother. So the question is, why is he so afraid? Yaakov says, in Lavan Garti, I stay with Lavan, and you twist the word Garti around, it means he kept 613 mitzvahs. Why is he so afraid? So there's an interesting medrash that says that Esau kept the mitzvah of living in Eretz Yisrael, and Yaakov was afraid that this merit of Esau living in Eretz Yisrael would be strong enough that he could be defeated by him, he could be bested by Esau. So the question is, Yaakov kept 613 mitzvahs, he testified that. Why is he afraid of this one mitzvah that Esau kept, that would somehow augur well in his defense and would harm Yaakov? Why do you think that way? So Rabbi Shmuel Moliver, was one of the early leaders of religious Zionism, says, which goes to prove that the commandment of living in Eretz Yisrael is so powerful, even for a non-Jew, even for an Esau, that it could be a situation where Yaakov could be worried about it. So why is that? So the numerous commandments that a pure righteous person observed outside Eretz Yisrael doesn't compare to living in Eretz Yisrael. So that's the power of living in Eretz Yisrael. So a Jew living in Eretz Yisrael, even if he's lax in other commandments, it's sometimes something very powerful just living in Eretz Yisrael. In fact, there's a Gemara in Ksubis that says that he who lives in Eretz Yisrael is like the one who has a God, and if you live outside of Israel, it's like you have no God. So the Hafla asks the question, this seems to be contradictory. It means if you're living in Eretz Yisrael as if you have a God, it means that you have no God. As you're living there as if you have a God, and conversely, if you're living outside of Israel and you say as if you have no God, it means you do have a God. So this seems to undermine the whole statement of what the Gemara is saying, that the merits of living in Eretz Yisrael. So the Hafla answers that one who lives in Eretz Yisrael, even if he doesn't observe the commandments, is like one who has a God. The very fact that he lives in Eretz Yisrael is very powerful. It's strong enough. On the other hand, the Hafla says, if you live outside of Israel, even if you observe all the mitzvos completely and fully, it's like one who has no God, simply by the fact you live outside of Eretz Yisrael. So you see the power of living in Eretz Yisrael. Even if you're an Esau, even if you're not fully observant of the mitzvahs, there's certainly a very great strength and merit living in Eretz Yisrael. May we merit that speedily in our days. We should have that zechus. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you.